White Belt Wednesday.
White Belt Wednesday.
White Belt Wednesday.
You're all gonna say it.
Come on,
it's not
Matt.
official. We got some non-technique questions or some problems people are having. One was someone saying, how do I know when I should grip hard and when I should grip loose and what I should even grip so I don't burn out my hands and lose my grips?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
So we were talking about this amazing heavyweight, Pedro Pano, who also fought in the UFC, Brazilian champion, world champion.
Won a bunch.
And won a bunch of stuff. And he was one of the first big guys to develop a really good open guard. So I heard him talk about soft hands, right? And his point he was trying to make was, if I'm grabbing you and you death gripping you right away, I start losing like feeling and dexterity on my hands as the match goes on, and my hand just gets filled with blood. So you want to be able to grip and just get that gauge where you're gripping just hard enough to be effective, without just being like, I have a grip and you can just rip it right away, but enough where I can hold on to it, and if I have to grip it. I think a lot of white belts, or I know black belts that do this, especially with lapel grips, where
Keep talking, we'll be right back.
yeah, where they will grab and then just don't let go.
Yeah, I mean, I find sometimes like you realize like you're holding on to it and it's just like a silly stubborn grip. Like, is it really doing you any favors?
Just
And
stop.
if it's not, maybe stop and
Yeah.
re-grip.
Yes.
Another thing I like to think about is no-gi grips. Just like, is it more effective to have some sort of wrist control? Because I find like any sort of like wrist control versus a sleeve grip, my hands don't burn out as bad.
Yeah.
I think just like that constant curling and holding on, it hurts your hand more.
Yeah.
And with less control, because like you're fighting more of the twisting and defense and your partner defending the grip, versus this, it's like I have it and he can't move as much.
So I think the other thing too is like an aspect of jiu-jitsu that, in my opinion, is like super underdeveloped is grip fighting, especially from standing right before we do a guard pull or a takedown. Like judo guys spend hours working on this. Wrestlers hand fight all the time and work on their setups. Jiu-jitsu guys, for whatever reason, we just take grips for granted and like don't develop a lot of time. One, breaking grips, and two is like re-gripping. So for whatever reason, a lot of jiu-jitsu guys just work on, it's like, yeah, I want to get really strong grips, and then they'll do like the gi pull-ups, and then like they get like captains of crush and like do this kind of stuff. But other martial arts are like, okay, like I have this grip, I lose this grip, this is the sequence I'm going to use to get that grip back, instead of having the mindset of I get a grip and I'm never letting go. And especially in jiu-jitsu where like it's so dynamic and we're doing so many things, sometimes white belts get stuck holding onto a lapel or a sleeve, and like their guards pass, they're getting smashed, they're getting mounted, but they're like still, they completely forgot what this hand was doing, and this hand is just that gripping a sleeve that is not helping them at all.
Yeah, I think anyone who competes that first match has that experience where they come off the mat and their hands are just stuck in fists and their forearms. Yeah, and you have to go to your part. Yeah, I've seen it. People go, help me! Like they go to the side and their teammates are having to like peel their fingers.
It's like lockjaw of the hands.
Yeah, they have to peel their fingers open again, massage their forearms out. And so that next match, they go out there and they're like, they can't use their fingers.
Yep.
And they don't even know they're doing it. It's just the adrenaline rush.
Yep.
But it's learning that you can just have soft grips sometimes. There's certain grips that aren't really easy to break anyway, so you don't need to like the whole time. They're only going to break when the guy goes to break them. So, okay, now he goes to grab my sleeve, I'll hold on tighter then. But if he's
but then at the same time, if I'm here and I have two hands on this, do you really need to fight this fight?
I might be like, you got me.
You got me, yeah. And then if I really holding on and I let people break my grips away, that's when people like get their calluses, not their calluses, but their joints get all jacked.
Yeah, you get those big bone
Because yeah, like you don't need to be putting like a ton of like sideways force into your finger joints. That's what's going to happen when the grip breaks.
Yeah, and if you really don't want to deal with it, do more no-gi or use the no-gi grips, like Hillary said, during your training, or you learn certain grips like switch to this. This grip, meaning like you have this option for claw gripping. This will, like when that breaks, it feels like your fingers explode. This one breaks, nothing really happens. You just lose your grip a little easier. So those are the choices you can make to not have your fingers die.